Welcome everyone, it's Glacier Guy, Rock the Glacier as always. This is 21st of May, and we're doing a studio update. So we got Angron finished. I just finished him yesterday. Spent a good 2 days getting him knocked out, and he's to a pretty good quality. So we'll show you that, and then we'll show you the whole board. We have it set up for a little stop motion battle report, so that's looking pretty nice. But aside from that, we do have some big news. So I found out on Thursday that I have to move. So I got a new job lined up on the East Coast, so I got to pack up, get everything moved over there, and more details to follow about timeline and things. I'm not sure if I'm really going to share that with my YouTube channel, but I don't know the specific details other than when I have to be there. So it's going to be in about 3 months is when I have to be there, just a little bit over 3 months. So I already called my realtor, called my fiance, called let my parents know. Now, realtors, he's out. Says I'm going to try to sell through the same realtor I bought the house through 3 years ago. So that shouldn't be that big of a deal. We'll hope the market around here is a pretty good market. So we shouldn't be waiting. And it's kind of a cookie cutter house. It's pretty much in a nice neighborhood. So we shouldn't have any big issues with selling it. I might have to, obviously I'll have to like spackle up some holes, and I might have to like replace some blinds and some curtains and stuff, and swap out doorknobs, things like that. But aside from those minor cosmetic things, the house should be fine on the market. And aside from that, my fiance is thrilled because her family is on the East Coast. So we're just going to get married. We're going to move over there. She's going to be way closer to her parents than she is right now. Now it's like, 23 hours away from where her parents are. But when we move there, it'll be around 7 to 8 hours. So it'll be much quicker, just a day trip to drive up there. Still, it's a long day's trip. But, for Americans, it's not that big of a drive, an 8-hour drive. So we're going to have to move. Now, with the short timeline, that means the movers are going to be here, I would probably say in about 40 to 50 days. Maybe sooner. So I don't have a lot of time left to work on projects as far as Warhammer is related and painting. So the channel's probably not going to get a lot of hobby updates, but I do have an idea because I do have a little bit of time left before I have to pack all my paints and stuff away. And I already have a plan for how to pack the models. I do have some model carrying cases from when I had my original army. Funny enough, like the armies that I bought those pluck and pull cases from, I mostly don't have those right now. I have some of the original guard models, so it'll be able to fit in there, and I can just pluck the foam out to fit other new models in. But I have more models than I had cases, so I'm probably more than likely going to be getting those plastic Tupperware containers, this plastic storage totes that I use for other things around the house. And a lot of bubble wrap and painter's tape. And that's pretty much how I'm going to be protecting the vast majority of the models that I have from getting damaged. Specifically, I'll probably bubble wrap everything. I don't think I'm only going to focus on the painted ones, but bubble wrap and painter's tape. So you roll it up, painter's tape it so it's not super, super tight, and then just pack it really nicely, snugly in a plastic tote, and then you clamp the plastic tote down. Should be good to go. No big problems. I've never had a problem moving models like that, aside from like breaking a few tank aerials, which I don't really think I have that many except for the Shadow Sword. So I'll make sure to pack the Shadow Sword very extra carefully. But yeah, so with that being said, we have enough time to get one other big project done. So I thought about working on the Sisters of Battle some more, but with the unique color scheme for the Sisters of Battle, where each squad is like a different reference that my fiance really likes, that's probably going to take a lot longer, and I want to spend more time on that. So I was like, all right, well, what army do I have that I can paint quickly and would look really nice? And we have the Blood Ravens. And so originally I had a whole Space Marine army that was going to be Howling Griffins, because I was going to make them just like, I wanted a successor chapter to Ultramarines or a generic Space Marine chapter, because I had the Atlantean Spears, but they are essentially Blood Ravens, or Blood Angels, essentially is how I play them, because I still use Dante in the army, but the color scheme is Atlantean Spears. So I thought the blue looked really nice, but I do like the red. And I did a test model for Blood Ravens, and I really like the Dawn of War show, and I got Gabriel Angelos a while ago. And so I was sitting here, I was like, well, why don't I just take what was going to be Howling Griffins and make them Blood Ravens? Now, if you know the Blood Ravens color scheme, it's really simple. You do a black base coat, you airbrush it red, and I have plenty of red airbrush paint, and then you throw on some black, some cream for the shoulder pads, and some silver, and you're pretty much almost done. There's a few accent colors for some models, might throw a little gold here and there, and some OSL and some glow. I've already decided that all the plasma and energy weapons are going to be blue. So I've already knocked that down. I've already got the plan set in place. So we're going to be trying to see if we can paint an entire battle company's worth of Blood Ravens in the next 2 to 3 weeks. That's going to be the focus of all my hobby time before the movers really break down. I won't be able to do a stop motion battle report with them because I won't have time. But the Blood Ravens are what we're going to try to get done. And we'll show you what models we're working with in a second. But first, let's flip around and show you how Angron's looking. All right, before we focus specifically on Angron, let's take a nice little quick panning shot of the whole battle space, how we have the terrain set up. We have over here, we have a nice little defensive supply base with a trench network. In it, between we have a little no man's land, a nice cute little forest area, and then we have a ruined city behind it with a little bit of pillar ruined networks above it. And that's pretty much how the battle report's going to go. It's more of a narrative style. I'm going to have the Atlantean Spears starting on the right, and I will have the World Eaters starting in on the left. And they're going to be working their way. More than likely, the goal will probably be to try to just take over the enemy base. Like if we can get to, I might make it to where if we can get to that quad gun, if any of the World Eater models can hold the quad gun for a whole turn, I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. But I'm thinking maybe the quad gun, or maybe set up some strategic objectives. Like if you hold the different, we have all these different little fuel cans. So maybe if you hold all the different fuel cans or the supply nodes, then we might do that. Might have you if you hold both supply nodes, then you win. But probably trying to make the stop motion battle report a little quicker. But we have the Astraeus, first time going to see that on the channel. And then, of course, we have the Lord of Skulls, which you've already seen before in a previous in a previous studio update. But let's focus on a little Angry Angron right here real quick. Let me sort the camera out. All right, so now, unlike other Angrons, I went with orange wings. And I think they work out pretty well. I've done it before on a one-page rules, I think a Warhost or whatever. I did it on a one-page rules model before, but I went with the orange wings. Very simple color scheme though. All the talons, the fur tufts, the hooves, his claws on his fingers, those are all a charcoal gray, charcoal black. We went with a very simple, we airbrushed that red. We do have some coffee staining on the wings from the orange when we put on the orange wash, but it's the only place where we really have any coffee staining, so that's good. I went with an ice base. So I was looking at the rocks and I was like, well, it's going to be really gray and gray and gray. And I kind of wanted it to be a slightly different tone. So we went with blue for like an ice base on the rocks that he's standing on. So I think it looks kind of cool. But now we have the Beast himself. And so this army, as we're going to field it for the battle report, is 2,998 points. Now, if we wanted to be super competitively optimized with, now, obviously we wouldn't be taking all the same models that we're taking. The army is what I have. So what we're going to be fielding is we're going to take 3 rhinos, 2 squads of 10 Khorne Berserkers, 1 squad of 9 Khorne Berserkers. And we're taking Karn, and Karn's going to go in the rhino with the 9 Khorne Berserkers, so they fit. We have 2 Decimators with Soul Burner Petards. We have 1 Lord of Skulls. We have 3 Predators with the autocannons, which, funny enough, the autocannon Predators are cost higher than the last cannon Predator. Apologies. And then, of course, we're taking Angron, and then we're taking a Master of Executions and 2 Spawn. Now, the more optimized way would be for the Master of Executions to ride in a Rhino, and that would take one of the Khorne Berserkers out, but that would leave me as at 2,976 points, which leaves me 24 points left over, which is not enough for anything in this army aside from giving like one or two predators a combi weapon. That's it. And I don't want to give the predators a combi weapon. Now I could take away the combi flamers from the rhinos, but that's what they were modeled with just because that's what was in the kit and I thought it was cool. And yeah, so and I could take the Soulburn Petards off the Decimators, but that makes the Decimators super, super strong. So we're doing 2,998 points. The Master of Executions is going to walk with the Spawn, and he's just going to try to take out the numerous amount of characters that are on the Atlantean Spears side. So with the Atlantean Spears, we're taking pretty much everything minus one model. So we have a battalion detachment. So this is all open war. We're not playing with whatever the new, what is it? Arcs of Omen. So we're not playing Arcs of Omen. We're just going to play open war. So we have a battalion with Mephiston, a Primarius Librarian, and a Phobos Librarian. And then we have 2 5-man squads of, is it infiltrators? I think they're infiltrators. I think so. 2 10-man squads of assault intercessors, 2 3-man squads of Blade Guard veterans, an Impulsor, an Astraeus. So we have a heavy auxiliary for the Astraeus. 2 3-man squads of Plasma no, not aggressors. What are they? Interceptors, I think Interceptors, I think they are. We have one thing of Bladestorm aggressors, 1 3-man squad. We also have heavy assault intercessor or heavy intercessors with their heavier guns. We have a apothecary, a Primaris apothecary, and we have a Vanguard detachment with a Tech Marine who has the upgrade because we had a few extra points, and we have 2 Leviathan dreadnoughts with flamers, the missile pods, and 1 drill and 1 claw on each of them. And then we have a Redemptor dreadnought behind it with the Macroplasma, the Onslaught Gotling, and the Icarus pod, and the Stormbolters for the chest. I think that's all we have on which is a lot, on the Blood Angels Atlantean Spears side. So I'm really curious to see how much damage the Astraeus is going to do versus how much damage the Lord of the Skulls and Angron are going to do. Because I think for this narrative battle report, I will probably set up some sort of 1 or 2 objectives inside the supply base. It might be the quad gun, I'm not sure. And then once those objectives are held, that the World Eaters win. This is like the last bastion on the planet. All the other forces have been evacuated, and the Atlantean Spears are there to try to secure something long enough before it gets taken over. Or maybe along the lines, maybe Mephiston has some grudge with Angron. I'm not 100% sure. So I was hoping to have Dante, but I wasn't super focused on when he got released, and none of the local stores had Dante, and I wasn't going to and he was out of stock as of last I checked. Also, because I'm moving now, I'm not going to be buying a whole lot of models, but I think this is going to be a good game. I'm hoping it's going to be a short game and just kind of get these armies to smash into each other, because aside from the Astraeus, there's not a whole lot of long range shooting in this army, which is good because that's kind of what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be 2 sort of melee armies, but the Predators do have they're a nice saucy little distraction. So who knows? Maybe Angron will just fly over and start smashing face. Ooh, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll set up whatever is in the objective for, that's a good idea. So I could probably set up 2 objectives, one on one side and one on the other. And if World Eaters get to the enemy objective, they have to destroy it. And then same thing if the Atlantean Spears get to the World Eaters objective, they have to destroy it. We'll probably figure out how many wounds it'll have, but I think that'll be kind of cool, like a generator or something, like a demon portal on one side, some sort of MacGuffin or whatever. And then we can figure something out. So I think we have some ideas. We're brainstorming over here. Because I just finished Angron yesterday, so I wasn't actually 100% sure how I wanted this board to be set up. And unfortunately, since I'm moving now, I don't want to print a whole bunch more terrain because that's just a whole bunch more stuff that I have to pack. So, all right, but on to the Blood Ravens. All right, so a few years ago, Games Workshop released a box, probably like plus 5 years ago-ish. They released a box, which was a Space Marine Apocalypse Battle Company, which had 6 tactical squads in it, 2 10-man assault squads in it, and 2 10-man devastator squads, and 9 rhinos, and a captain and a command squad. And I actually looked up how much it was going to cost for that whole army if I bought those kits today, because they're still available today. And it was like $1,300, and it was just under 3,000 points. It was like 2,600, 700 points, somewhere around there. But then I was like, wait a minute. I have basically a whole battle company's worth of models already here. So working from left to right, we have a set of so we have 2 units of Relic Terminators. One are Tartaros and one are Cataphracti, but they'll work just fine. So we have a close combat version with double lightning claws. We have a normal Relic Terminator squad that's kind of a mix. We got like Plasma Blaster and other mixed accoutrements. We have 3 Predators. 2 of them are autocannon Predators, and 1 is a las cannon Predator. I kind of wish I would have done them all the same, because they would all have the same kind of battlefield role. But, whatever. And then we have a Blade Guard Primaris Champion, which is funny because I don't think we have... No, we do have some other Blade Guard in this army. Yeah, we have 1 squad of Blade Guard. So with the Blade Guard Champion, we have a Stern Guard squad. We have a Devastator squad with melted guns. We have 6 Eradicators. We have a Vanguard Vet squad. We have 1 squad of Blade Guard veterans. We have 3 tactical squads, 4 drop pods, 1 Redemptor Dreadnought way in the back, 1 Repulsor Executioner on the right, and then we have a Primaris Captain, we have a Primaris Apothecary, a Primaris Librarian, and a Primaris Chaplain. First time painting the Primaris Chaplain, so that'll be kind of fun. Also, I think first time painting a Primaris Captain in a while. I think this will be the second one I've ever painted. Moving on over, we also have 30 regular intercessors, which is great because these are the ones. So now with 10th edition, you don't have to worry about what weapons they have, but these 3, they're just standard. They're equipped with just standard bolt rifles, but we can figure out what we want later on. But each one has a chainsword, or each squad has a sergeant with a chainsword and 2 grenade launchers. Hopefully, that's what comes in the kit, so that should be fine. So originally everything was sub-assembled really far because everything was going to be Howling Griffins, which was like a little bit more difficult to paint. But now that we're going to do Blood Ravens on everything, I'm going to actually try to assemble these today, and get them less sub-assembly because it won't be as hard to paint them as Blood Ravens. We can just prime them all black and then red and be good to go. And then we have 2 boxes right here. So we have Gabriel Angelos, because it's Blood Ravens, and I know he's going to Legends in 10th edition, but it would be silly not to have an army with Gabriel Angelos. So Gabriel Angelos, and we have a Legion Sicarian Omega Tank Destroyer. Why do I have a Legion Sicarian Tank Destroyer? Because as of right now, it's still legal in 40k, and hopefully it still stays legal in 40k. But the Blood Ravens are well known for tactically acquiring relics. And so I was going to have the Legion Sicarian be a relic that they steal from some other unit. And I was going to make on the bottom of it, I was going to put the Alpha Legion symbol on the bottom, because then you're like, did they steal it from the Alpha Legion, or is this just an Alpha Legion army? Who knows? You never really know. So that'll be the fun little bits. But yeah, so that is the project. We have to do the stop motion battle report, and we have to film this, and I have about 4 weeks to do all of this before I have to really, really pack up and get everything moved out. So it's going to be a busy 4 weeks. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will talk to you next time. And aside from that, have a great day. If you want to support me, comment below, like, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. And you can, if you want to support me extra monetarily, somebody bought my book last month, so that was nice. So feel free. There's a link below. Buy my book, and I get a couple cents from it. So aside from that, have a great one, and I'll see you around. Goodbye.